Hey everybody, I recently read this book here, My Ex the Antichrist. Yes, get all of your jokes about how the author knew your ex out of the way now. But this book just dropped on Tuesday. I had actually read it ahead of time because I had an interview with the author, Craig DeLuey. However, I'm still going to give you my honest opinion on this one, which is actually pretty dang good. This book had very much, if you've read Wilding Hall or maybe Daisy Jones and the Six, it's got kind of those vibes to it. But it's definitely its own story, and it's got that little hook for me, the whole, religious aspect. Because this book is not tongue in cheek. It is about my ex, the Antichrist. So, go with it as you will. Gist of this, we start out the story. Lily Lawless is on top of the world. Her band, The Shivers, have put out best-selling album after best-selling album after best-selling album. No, nobody sold their soul. But like I said, top of the world, and then one day something happens, which I'm not going to tell you. You're going to have to read the book. And she can't deal with it anymore. She walks into a precinct and says, I killed Drake Morgan. Drake Morgan is the enigmatic frontman that used to be on the Shivers, left the band, and moved on to Universal Priest. His new band and her band, met in a battle of the bands called Armageddon, and quite literally all hell broke loose. And then he was never heard from again. In fact, none of the band Universal Priest was ever heard from again. But like I said, something happened. Lily can't take it anymore. She walks into the precinct and tells them what happened within reason. She did tell them that she murdered him. She didn't tell him that he was the Antichrist. And it takes some work because there's no body, there is no weapon. To be quite honest, nobody's been looking for him. Troubled soul, no family. People just kind of assumed he walked into, whatever, and just never to be seen again. But she, does what she has to do to actually get convicted. I know that sounds weird, but I think she's feeling a little guilty and she can't deal with it anymore. So she goes to prison. Nobody, she won't talk about it. Nobody on the Shivers will talk about it. They've got a rule: we don't talk about Drake. Fast forward, I think like 12 years, and this is kind of where the story begins. So none of this part is spoiler. You're gonna find this out like chapter one. But fast forward 12 years, she's about to get out, I believe, and she's got a story to tell. And she finally breaks her silence, gets a hold of a journalist, and she's going to tell the story of what happened. And so her band now also finally feel free to, go ahead and talk about Drake. And yeah, this is the story of how Lily Lawless started dating the Antichrist and everything that happened after that. Again, for some of you, that may sound a little silly or maybe a little over the top, but again, if you've read a book like Wilding Hall or if you've read, Daisy Jones, you know how this book can be written. And Craig DeLuey's writing, and I'm not just saying that because he was on here. He's already been on here. I could crap on the book, and he can't change the fact that he's already been on here. But I can't crap on the book because it was really, really well written. Love the story. Love how he interweaved the different characters, and also brought in some people outside the band because again, they're talking about the Antichrist. So we've got a couple of experts in the field that get pulled in. We get a couple of other, managers, record producers, people that had been at some of these events, and it was just really, really gorgeously written. And I gave it 5 stars. That's the in and out of it. Yeah, that's all I got on this one. Totally worth reading. Absolutely loved it. And go check out the interview too if you want to. All right, catch you later.